I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started with the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show and what you're good and educated about the show. Then you can click on that merchandise tab, take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from Renegades of Puck are all still available in our online store, whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, makes no difference to the Renegades of Puck. Something like 88 different items in our online store. Better said, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can jump in the trenches with the Renegades of Puck. You can, of course, find us on X and Threads. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, as well as long as that still exists. So please check us out on social media. It doesn't take you but a second, doesn't cost you a single thing, but it does help a long way with the Renegades of Puck. You can also find us on YouTube, and we could really use your support over there. Thanks to our good friend Carlos over there in Memphis and all of our other great Renegades of Puck watching on YouTube. We sure do appreciate each and every one of you. Please spread the links, spread the word, get us some more subscribers, and help us out. Please subscribe to the channel today. You'll get our recaps, all of our previews, all of our full episodes of Renegades of Puck TV interviews, and so much more right there on YouTube. The audio podcast is doing tremendous thanks to the Full Press NHL Network and the Full Press Predators podcast. You can find us on Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, and several other podcast platforms. Whatever it is that you prefer, just search Renegades of Puck today. Again, stick taps, love, and respect to everybody who's checked out the show and everybody behind the scenes at the Full Press NHL Network, helping us achieve milestone after milestone since we have partnered with that group. We sure do appreciate each and every one of them. Venmo is how you can support the show financially. Scan the QR code that's currently on your screen, or just search Renegades of Puck in Venmo. Every dollar goes a long way to helping the Renegades of Puck. So please, if you can spare some change, send it our way so we can continue on the operation known as the Renegades of Puck and the bunker build out, as we are continuing to make improvements behind the scenes. That's what we're working on right now. So again, we sure do appreciate that. Scan that QR code and send over those donations today when you can. Now, I know it's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage. I'm starting to get a little antsy and bouncy in the seat. Let's get on to it. Time for operation number 882. That's right. Time for show number 882. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 63 games, getting a record of 35, 25, and 3. 73 points has the Predators currently in a wild card spot, 10 points behind an automatic qualifying spot, which is third place in the Central Division, and 12 points behind first place in the Central Division. We'll update the entire division, the wild card race, here in just a moment. Let me give you these couple of numbers first. The Nashville Predators will close out a homestand in their next game against Buffalo Sabres. So on home ice, the Preds have a record of 17-5-1. The Preds scored 202 goals this season. They've given up 194 against. That's a goal differential of +8. We'll get into the Sabres and the Preds here in just a second with a microscope on that matchup. But first, let's talk about the updated standings for the Central Division. The three-team weave has gotten even tighter, and the only team with the advantage right now seems to be the second place Winnipeg Jets. And I say that because they have 3 games in hand over the first place Dallas Stars and the third place Colorado Avalanche. 85 points to 83 points separates the 3 teams there at the top of the Central Division. It is going to come down to the final periods of the season to determine the 3-team weave, and somebody in that 2-3 matchup in the playoffs for the Central is going to have one hell of a difficult time moving forward. The Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place, just outside the 3-team weave, but in the wild card pack, the Predators have 73 points. The St. Louis Blues in fifth place have 67 points, so the Predators are 6 points clear of St. Louis and 9 points clear of sixth place Minnesota, who are at 64 points. The Arizona Coyotes have fallen completely off of a cliff, and yes, I get the joke. They are in seventh place with 55 points, and the Chicago Blackhawks are continuing to be in last place, 37 points. What do they have, rent control down there or something? In the wild card, that's got you updated on the Central Division standings. The wild card's latest standings see the Vegas Golden Knights taking a tumble out of the top 3 in the Pacific and being displaced by the Los Angeles Kings. Vegas, now in the wild card pack, holds wild card 1 with 73 points. The Nashville Predators also have 73 points, are in wild card 2. due to tiebreakers. On the outside looking in, first team is Seattle and then St. Louis, each with 67 points on the season. So the Predators and the Vegas Golden Knights have a 6-point cushion on playoff positioning right now, but I think the Predators feel a little better about their 6-point cushion in the wild card race than Vegas suddenly does, finding themselves trying to figure out what the hell the wild card race is. They have taken a significant tumble, and it happens to somebody at this time every single year. Now, for the Predators, I mentioned they wrap up this home stand, and then it is back out onto the road for 4 consecutive, including back-to-back matinees on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday is in Columbus. Sunday is in Minnesota. Wednesday in Winnipeg. So the Preds off Monday and Tuesday of this next week. First time they've had 2 days off in a while. On the 16th of March, Predators will be in Seattle to wrap up that 4-game road trip. And on the 19th of March, the Predators back home to face off against the San Jose Sharks. Now, the season series between the Predators and the Buffalo Sabres is the second of 2 regular season meetings. The first meeting took place on December the 3rd. Nashville Predators won 2-1 in Buffalo. Saros 34-35 picked up the victory. Forsberg and Trennan picked up the goal. One of those players will be unable to score for the Nashville Predators. More on that coming up here in a matter of moments. Luukkonen got the start, took the loss for Buffalo, 27 out of 29. Olofsson scored the only goal for the Sabres. Now, the Buffalo Sabres are at 29-5 on the season overall, 63 points, 6th in the NHL. On the road, a reasonable record of 15-12-4. They've scored 184. They've given up 189. That's a goal differential of -5. And the Buffalo Sabres are coming off back-to-back scenario. Played last night, heading into Nashville now. 2 road games in 24 hours. Let's go back, though, and recap the most recent sample size, and we'll close it out with last night's game. On the 27th of February, it was a 3-2 loss at Florida, but everybody loses in Florida. 2/29, it was a 3-2 overtime win at Tampa Bay. On the 2nd of March, it was a 7-2 win versus Vegas. On the 3rd of March, a 5-2 loss versus the Winnipeg Jets. And most recently, meaning last night, on March the 6th, it was a 2-1 overtime loss at the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was Luukkonen picking up the loss in the overtime. 25 out of 27, 2 goals against. So when it comes to the matchup between these two teams, goals for, these are updated numbers. The Buffalo Sabres at 2.90 is 24th overall in the NHL. The Predators at 3.17 is 15th in the NHL. When it comes to goals against, Predators giving up 3.08 per game is 18th in the league. The Buffalo Sabres giving up 2.98 per game is 13th best in the league. In the shots for category, Buffalo generates 31.3 on net per game. That's 12th overall. The Nashville Predators generate 31.1 shots on net per game. That is 14th in the shots against category. 30.3 for Nashville is 20th. 29.1 for Buffalo is 6th overall in the NHL. So the Sabres, the 6th best team in the NHL in the shots against category, only giving up 29.1 shots per game, something to keep your eye on. The power play for the Nashville Predators, converting at 19.5%, is 18th overall in the NHL. 42 out of 245 is the raw data. The power play for the Buffalo Sabres, converting at 16.8%, that's 26th in the NHL. 30 conversions on 179 opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Nashville Predators are killing off 76.4% this season. That's their rate. 24th is their ranking. 46 power play goals against is a big number. That is a very big number. 29% is the kill rate for these Buffalo Sabres. 18th overall in the league is their ranking. 40 power play goals against on the season. Now, before we get into the individual statistics, because this is going to affect the individual statistics, it is the eve of the trade deadline, so we have already seen some momentum. First-year rookie GM, if you will, Barry Trotz for the Nashville Predators, has already made 3 moves. None of them would be considered significant. The most important immediate for the team would be a 5th-round pick this year going to the Chicago Blackhawks for Beauvillier. Beauvillier was a player on the New York Islanders when Barry Trotz was the head coach there. He's been a reasonably good veteran, about a half a point per game, so he's usually around 40 points, 40-something points per season, but he certainly has some playoff experience, reliable, and a good fit for this Nashville Predators team. The only player moving out immediately from this Nashville Predators team that you would be most familiar with, of course, is Yakov Trenin. Trenin and a prospect are headed off to the Colorado Avalanche. That is for a 2025 3rd-round pick overall. Yakov Trenin, it was obvious, was going to be moved, an impending free agent, and Trenin's going to get an opportunity to go to Colorado Avalanche and make a playoff run with the Avs. So Trenin off to Colorado. Return is a 3rd-round pick in 2025, 5th-round pick in 2024 to Chicago for Beauvillier, and the Predators also made a claim, Jarrett Anderson Dolan, off of waivers from the LA Kings. So that's going to do it for the transaction-wise wire, but we're going to be very busy over the next 24 hours. As a matter of fact, that's why our next episode is going to come immediately after the trade deadline ends so that we can jump in the bunker and have a show ready to go if the Nashville Predators are to make any other moves. Now, let's talk about the individual statistics for each of these teams because, again, this is an effect on both these teams. Middlestat was the team leader in points for the Buffalo Sabres. He had 14 goals and 33 assists and 47 points for the Sabres, but now he's been traded to the Colorado Avalanche, so he'll join his brand new teammate Yakov Trenin out in Denver. So the new leading scorer for the Buffalo Sabres on the roster is Dahlin, 15 and 31 for 46. Skinner's got 20 goals and 20 assists for 40 points. Tuck's got 17 and 23 for 40. And Peterka's at 20 goals and 18 assists for 38 points on the season. The Nashville Predators individual statistics, Philip Forsberg back to over his point per game pace on the season. 30 goals as well, his fourth 30-goal season. 34 assists, 64 total points. Roman Josi, 15 goals and 46 assists for 61 points. Captain Ryan O'Reilly, he's not the captain, but damn, he's got captain qualities. 23 goals, 31 assists for 54 points. Nyquist is at 17 and 36 for 53. And Tommy Novak, all he does is make plays, all for 34 points this season. His breakdown goes 13 plus 21. UC Saros in net anticipated 26, 21, and 3. 907 save percentage, 2.85 goals against average with 2 shutouts on the season. With Luukkonen going last night and picking up the loss, he will not have the opportunity for the rematch. Well, I guess he will have the opportunity, but I don't think the head coach is going to make that particular move. I expect Levi to be in net tonight, 9-7-2 for Buffalo, and 8-9-1 save percentage, and move the puck. 3.30 goals against average. I have pucks for paperweights, so who doesn't? That's what they're for, isn't it? 3.30 goals against average. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators, who have a tiny bit of a different look. Yakov Trenin out of line. That's going to give somebody an opportunity to get back in until Beauvillier can get here and get his opportunity to start. We'll talk more about him when we wrap up the trade deadline on the next episode, but want to get you updated on those Nashville Predators roster moves going into tonight's game because the lineup's going to start to look different. We're going to have a whole lot of movement after tonight's game. I don't know how much will be with the Nashville Predators, but Barry Trotz so far fairly active. 3 different transactions in this particular day. So we'll keep you updated on all of it moving forward. Nashville Predators, Buffalo Sabres at Bridgestone Arena. You're all set for it. Let's go back now. Talk about the previous game. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. It's coming next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to March 5th, the year 2024, when the Nashville Predators were welcoming the Montreal Canadiens for the second and final time in this regular season meeting. Head coach Andrew Brunette deploys his lines and his defensive pairings in the following way, and this should sound familiar because he has the same combinations as the 8-game previous. It is Forsberg, O'Reilly, Nyquist, Trenin, Sissons, and Glass, Jankowski, Novak, Evangelista, Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood. On the defensive side of things, you'll see Fabro, Shannon McDonough, Luzon, and Carrier in net. UC Saros. We are just 23 seconds into the game at Bridgestone Arena, and there's Allen coming with a save on Alex Carey, the first shot on goal of the game at 1:07 of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Joel Armia at the 1:34 mark of the first period. UC Saros coming with a save on Gallagher. 3:23 of the first period. We find our first special teams scenario as Goulia picks up a penalty 2 minutes for tripping. Sherwood earning the power play for his Nashville Predators squad. Allen comes with a save on Evangelista's backhand off of the rush. Speed, power, but no finish here for Luke Evangelista. Allen then comes up with a save on Colton Sissons and his deflection, and then at 6:13, back to even strength now. Allen comes up with a save on McCarron. At 6:49 of the first period, UC Saros coming up with a save on Slakowski's deflection. At the 8:03 mark of the first period, it is Allen coming up with another save on Alex Carrier. At the 11:06 mark of the first period, it is Allen coming up with a save on O'Reilly's one-timer from the left circle, kind of between the circle and the slot, but at least a little bit of an angle to it, so not truly to the slot, but a big-time save by Allen on the one-timer right here. 12:56 of the first period. It's Saros coming with a save on Harvey Pinard, plus the 2 rebound jam opportunities right there on the goal line by Pearson. Saros had to be strong right here to not allow the puck to get through. At the 15:24 mark of the first period, we find our first goal of the game breaking through. It is the Nashville Predators on home ice. It is, of course, Philip Forsberg, his 30th goal of the season. Team leading his now 4th 30th goal of the season. It comes on the backhand, and it was off of Luke Evangelista feed laterally across the slot. Forsberg had to pull it over to the backhand because of the stick check by the Montreal defender. Really good finish here by Philip Forsberg for his 30th goal of the season, giving Nashville Predators a 1-0 lead. At 18:16 of the first period, Saros comes with a save on Savard. At the 19:52 mark of the first period, UC Saros comes up with one more save, this time on Gooley. The Nashville Predators outshoot the Montreal Canadiens 14-11 over the course of the first 20 minutes of regulation. We go to the clean sheet of the second period, and we find the second 20 minutes of regulation and 31 seconds in. It's UC Saros coming with a save on Joel Armia, much like we started out early in the game. 1:35, it's Allen coming with a save on Nyquist. Then at 1:59, it's Allen coming with a save on Dante Fabro. We go to the 3:15 mark of the second period. We find Allen coming with a save on Alex Carey, who was doing a really good job firing pucks in the net this entire game. At the 4:12 mark, right off the face-off here in the second period, it's Schenn versus Anderson, 5 minutes each. Anderson definitely landed the first early punch, and then Schenn landed the good late punches. They each go sit for 5 minutes. At the 5:11 mark of the second period, it is Gus Nyquist with his 12th goal of the season. Philip Forsberg with just an absolutely great feed from the below the goal line to the low slot area for Nyquist to finish this playoff easily. As a matter of fact, the Nashville Predators passing all the way from behind their own net all the way till the puck was in the back of the net was pretty incredible on this play. The Predators definitely in sync at this moment of the game, leading to nothing. The 5:29 mark of the second period, it's Harris off the box. 2 minutes for holding, putting the Nashville Predators on the power play. It's going to be Allen coming up with a save on Glass, and then Allen coming up with another save on Nyquist. That's going to do it for the Nashville Predators power play. They're buzzing and they're putting on plenty of pressure, but they are not able to put Montreal away here in the second period. 9:53 of the second period. It is Saros coming up with a save on Caulfield at the 10:30, so almost 9 minutes without a shot on goal for the Montreal Canadiens right there, and Saros a very light second period so far. 10:36 of the second period, it's Alex Carey off the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Saros would have to come up with a big save on Caulfield right here. And then Saros would have to come up with a second big save on Caulfield. The sniper was looking to go to work, and he was starting to pull Montreal back into this game. At the 12:40 mark of the second period, UC Saros comes with a save on Harris. At the 15:16 mark of the second period, it's Allen coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg. On the same shift at 15:53, Allen another save on Philip Forsberg. Forsberg was buzzing all over the place, trying to put the dagger into the Montreal Canadiens after scoring his 30th earlier in this game. We go to the 16:02 mark of the second period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Newhook. At the 16:23 mark of the second period, we see Saros come up with a save on Armia at close range. Really good save right here. But at 16:39, it's Gallagher getting his 10th goal of the season. Dante Fabro kind of caught in between on a play, gets beaten. The Montreal Canadiens capitalize on this. Gallagher with a really good shot. His 10th goal of the season gets Montreal on the board for the first time in this game. The Nashville Predators still hold a 2-1 lead. So up to this point, the Predators are dominating. They give up one goal after one missed play in the defensive end. No problem. Absolutely no problem. Everything's going to be fine at Bridgestone Arena. Let me go over to the backside of the sheet. And what are you talking about? What? Savard scores his third goal of the season, tying the game up at 2 apiece 6 seconds later on a dump-in off of the glass, which goes down to the corner and then perfectly into the net while UC Saros is standing behind the net. That actually happened. That really did happen. Yes, it did. It happened. This game is tied at 2 apiece. One of the strangest goals you're going to see all season long. Savard gets awarded with his third. He dumped it in hard. It goes off the glass, gets the ricochet, goes into the net while UC Saros is standing behind the net watching the whole thing unfold. So we have a brand new hockey game. We hit the end of the second period. Montreal out shooting Nashville now 22-21. We go to the clean sheet of the third period, and with the tie game, the two teams still kind of a little bit stunned, feeling each other out as if it's a whole new game. 2:22 into the third period. It's Allen coming with a save on McDonough. Jankowski coming in for the follow-up opportunity at the 4:02 mark of the third. UC Saros comes with a save on Caulfield off of the rush. Then at 4:19 on the same shift, Saros another save on Caulfield. 6:32 mark of the third period. It's Allen coming with a save on Forsberg plus the follow-up by Schenn. We hit the 7-minute mark of the third period. UC Saros comes with a save on Matherson. At the 7:38 mark, Saros a save on Gallagher. And the 9:33 mark of the third period, it is Allen coming coming with a save on O'Reilly's backhand. Another great scoring opportunity for the Predators. 11:47 of the third period. Allen coming with a save on Forsberg. The Predators seeming to gain some momentum, some more possession, some more offensive zone time, and getting closer into the net. That's where you find them at 12:19. O'Reilly, his 23rd goal of the season, comes on a step-out move from below the goal line. He received the pass down below behind the net along the boards, picked it up, stepped out from below the goal line, found the lane he was looking for, and went ahead and sniped in the top corner. His 23rd goal of the season gives the Nashville Predators a 3-2 lead in the third period. The teams are starting to pick up the pace again, and at 14:55 third period, that's when Waugh comes up with his second goal of the season, tying this game up at 3 apiece. Montreal is on the board now with a wrist shot off of the rush. A neutral zone turnover by the captain, Roman Josi, leads to the rush by Waugh, and he finishes the playoff with a sick wrister. This game is tied up at 3 apiece, but at 16:58 of the third period, McCarron seems to put the puck into the net. No, he does put the puck in the net, but once it is challenged for a high stick and everyone gets a chance to see the replay, the play was overturned, and this is, in fact, the absolute correct call. But Michael McCarron, great hand-eye coordination for just a moment. It looked like the Nashville Predators were about to take a 4-3 lead. We reset the score at 3-3 with 3 minutes to go in this game. At the 17:44 mark of the third period, Stars coming with a save on Gallagher, plus the follow-up by Evans. Montreal making a bid to win this game. At 18:11 of the third period, the Nashville Predators' incredibly sloppy line change leads to too many men on the ice penalty. The Predators would not give up a single shot on goal for the remainder of regulation, which means the Nashville Predators would secure a point for the 9th consecutive game. Montreal outshoots the Preds 29-28 for regulation. Carryover of 11 seconds for the Montreal power play, so we start up in a 4-on-3 scenario. But at 17 seconds, just after the power play ends in a 4-on-4 scenario, it's Suzuki scoring his 25th goal of the season. It was a sharp angle one-time snipe from down on one knee, giving the Montreal Canadiens a 4-3 win at Bridgestone Arena in overtime. Only one shot on goal in overtime. It's Montreal's 30th shot on goal, and they outshoot the Nashville Predators 30-28. So again, the Montreal Canadiens come back from down 2-0 and down 3-2 and win this game 4-3 in overtime. And the Nashville Predators, over the first 36 minutes of this game, looked like they were absolutely going to dust the Montreal Canadiens. And then over the final 23 minutes of this game and the 17 seconds of overtime, the Nashville Predators did not succeed in doing so. As a matter of fact, one sharp angle goal seemed to deflate this team, and the Nashville Predators really never gained their dominance again in this one, falling for the first time in 9 games. But they do still pick up a point, and that is of critical importance. We've got so much more to talk about when it comes to this 4-3 overtime loss at Bridgestone Arena for the Nashville Predators. We're going to do that coming up next. It's full analysis, box score, and so much more on the Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in, Renegades of Puck podcast. Appreciate you joining us here on the show into the playoff stretch now, and things are just going to get more fascinating. I see people talking about where's the separation going to come from. There's not going to be any separation. This is one of the closest races with just under 20 games to go on the season now that we've seen in quite some time. So let's talk about the analysis from this game, and then let's keep tracking all of these different races, all of these different fun storylines and topics, and we have so much to get into. UC Saros, let's start in net net for the Nashville Predators against the Montreal Canadiens. 26 out of 30. Did give up 4 goals against in this game. Made some huge saves, but you know what? Not the best game overall for UC Saros or for the Predators defense in front of UC Saros, or honestly for the rest of the team. For at least half of this game, they just were not quite that good. So UC Saros did come up with some big saves at some moments, but overall, not his best game of the season. Takes the overtime loss, but did manage to help get his Predators that 1 point in the standings, which allows them to stay tied with Vegas. Ryan O'Reilly had a goal and 2 assists for 3 points in this game. That paced the Nashville Predators. His goal was sweet, taking that puck off the end wall, stepping out, sniping in the top corner. Ryan O'Reilly just brings the jam each and every time, not afraid of the hard areas. He took that puck into the hardest of areas and still found himself with plenty of time and space and put the puck in net. His 3 points paces the Predators now 54 points on the season, and just overall a strong night. O'Reilly also had 4 shots on goal, went 19:08 in total time on ice to lead all of the forwards for this Nashville Predators team. Philip Forsberg also picked up a goal and an assist, had 2 points in this game. That goal is his 30th goal of the season, 4th time in his career. He's made it to 30 goals, and Barry Trotz revealed on the radio here locally in Nashville why Philip Forsberg has been missing morning skates and practices, because he has a cut that has apparently gotten irritated a couple of times, so they're allowing him to stay out from morning skates and practices in order to let that heal up a little bit. As Barry Trotz said, more important to have Philip Forsberg for the games right now than it is to have him at practice. And Philip Forsberg obviously not suffering out there during the game. He has his 30th goal of the season, 64 points total. That moves him back above his point per game pace, which he had dipped below just briefly for a couple of games there. But again, Philip Forsberg's 30th goal of the season leads the Nashville Predators 64 points overall, and no reason to believe Philip Forsberg going to slow down. This is his time of year when he usually heats up. From February on to the end of the season, Forsberg usually is a dominant player. By the way, Philip Forsberg also had 4 shots on goal and was 3rd on the forwards in total time on ice, 18-26. Gus Nyquist had a goal and an assist in this game. The Nyquist-Forsberg connection, but it went beyond that. That shift had 5-6 incredible passes. It started behind the Predators' net. The first pass was a long pass all the way up to the blue line, and then through the offensive zone. The movement, the cycle, and the finish pass from Forsberg to Nyquist to put this puck into the net, it was really some of the smoothest work you've seen from a Predators offense. They were really just on it at this moment in time. So Gus Nyquist has 2 points in this game as well. Now, that's wonderful, but did you notice the 3 players that I've talked about so far when it comes to the offense? And the Predators scored 3 goals. We've talked about 3 goals, so we've covered all of the Predators scoring at this point. All comes from the first line, which is obviously Forsberg, Nyquist, O'Reilly. And the first line generates 3 goals and 4 assists for 7 points plus 9 shots on goal. Now, that's tremendous, but that is what the Predators were doing when they were faltering in the standings, when they were slipping out of the race, when they were losing games. Everything was on the shoulders of the first line, and when the Nashville Predators found that balance, when Novak and when Evangelista and when all the other players that are chipping into the lineup as of late has started chipping in, that's when the Nashville Predators win streak started, and that's when everything started going the right way. So this was a return to the form from before the win streak that you don't want to see. As good as it is to see the Nashville Predators top line generating all 3 goals in this game, it's too much. It loses the balance. It skewers the ice time. The broadcast did a good job of breaking it down. We did a good job of having the lengthy conversation about the time on ice and how well balanced rolling 4 lines has been as of late. This wasn't a huge special teams game in any way to throw off the ice time, yet there still was quite a bit. We'll get more into that. But for the Nashville Predators, when they're top-end, top-heavy, first-line exclusive, they're not going to win many games. It's not about the bad bounce that got them in this game. It was the fact that the balance that has been there for the previous 8 games was not there at Bridgestone Arena. There were times, there were periods, there were shifts when it was there, but for the most part, the team was not quite the same in this particular game. So the first line just completely dominant and no offense anywhere else on the score sheet. Luke Evangelista gets 1 assist. Luzon gets 1 assist. Every single point other than that, and all 3 goals were had and taken up by the first line. You have to have better balance than that. It doesn't have to be all 4 lines every night, but you do have to have better balance and depth scoring than that. And the Montreal Canadiens came in, and Jake Allen played a decent game. The Predators had their chance to put them away, but the Predators were unable to put their foot on Montreal, who is not a great team, but they're competing hard, and they walked out of Bridgestone Arena with 2 points. Preds, honestly, lucky to get out of the rink with a point in this one. Let's hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital Solutions, then more commentary, analysis, and so much more coming up during the box score portion of things. That's the good, cold, hard numbers. They don't lie, and we're going to bring them to you coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way, from startup to full-time operation. Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions. Welcome back in. Time to talk about the numbers when it comes to the Nashville Predators. On the power play, they were 0 for 2 in this game. On the PK, they were 2 for 2 in this game, so not a huge special teams affair. I'll tell you who scored the goals. You already know who scored the goals. It was the first line. It was Forsberg, Nyquist, and O'Reilly, and they also had all but 2 of the assists. The assists were 2 for O'Reilly, 1 for Nyquist, 1 for Forsberg, 1 for Evangelista, 1 for Jeremy Luzon. Shots on goal, also dominated by the first line. O'Reilly and Forsberg led the team, tied co-lead, whatever the hell you want to say it, 4 each. And then it was Sissons had 3, Carrier had 3. When it comes to block shots, very few in the lineup. Domernosi had 3 in this game. Nobody else with more than 2. When it comes to hits, Luzon had 6, which is always nice to see. It was Smith with 3. Sherwood had 2, and Shen also had 2. Time on ice, that's where things do get a little bit messed up from this game. We've had so much balance as of late. Still no forwards over 20 minutes, which is good news, but Ryan O'Reilly led the way with 19:08 total time on ice, and then it was Nyquist at 18:49, and Forsberg at 18:26. The least amount of time by any forward was by Glass at 11:30, so Glass follows up having a hat trick by playing 11 minutes and 30 seconds, the least amount of time of any forward on the rink in this game. When it comes to the time on ice leaders for the defenders, of course, the captain Roman Josi led the team in time on ice, 24:57 total, 22:14 for McDonough, 20:26 for Carrier. When it comes to the power play, which was 0 for 2, Forsberg led in total time on ice, 2:29, 2:32, 2:33. That's more than 2:29. So Nyquist and O'Reilly also lead. The whole line led in power play time on ice, easiest way to say it. Josi at 2:31. When it comes to shorthanded time on ice, the PK, good job in this one, 2 for 2, especially in the last minute 49 of the game, plus the first couple seconds of regulation or overtime there. Didn't work out in the end, but the PK unit did do their job. 145 total shorthanded time on ice for Colton Sissons, 120 for Yakov Trenin, 240 for McDonough, 209 for Luzon. When it comes to some other numbers falling out of the box score, face-off winning percentage, 53.8 for the Nashville Predators. 16 hits in this game, 18 block shots, 11 takeaways, 3 giveaways. The number's a little bit low in this game. Face-off winning percentage, good. The hits a little low, the block shots a little bit low. The takeaways, good high number, but they didn't take advantage of their opportunities when they had them. UC Saros in net, 26 out of 34 goals against, an in-game save percentage of 8.67, 23 even strength saves, 3 power play saves. That's going to do it for the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. You can see they reveal much. All right, let's go ahead and close this episode out. Operation number 881. And you know what? It wasn't about the bad bounce. Listen, that goal against was terrible. It was an anomaly. It's going to happen once, twice, 3 times a season. Every team in the NHL goes through that. A tough bounce off the glass ends up in the back of your net. That was only a tying goal. What happened to the Nashville Predators was actually revealing itself before the first goal for Montreal. The Predators had a chance as the second period was unfolding. They were just starting to dominate the Montreal Canadiens. Allen played a good game. You have to give him some stick taps for that in net for Montreal. But the Nashville Predators unable to finish off plays around the net, unable to put pucks in the net when they had the opportunities, unable to take advantage of partial breakaways, unable to take advantage of power play opportunities. They did not seize the game when they had the chance to take it away from the Montreal Canadiens. Then one defensive lapse, Montreal gets their first goal, one bad bounce off of the glass, it's into the back of the net, and then the Nashville Predators just really weren't themselves mentally, physically, or spiritually after that. You heard Dan Highnote even make reference to that on the broadcast itself. So for the Predators, it wasn't the bad bounce that did them in. It certainly did not help to see UC Saros standing behind his goal as the puck is in the goal. That doesn't help optically. It doesn't help anybody at the rink. So that was only a tie game at that point. For the Predators, that bad bounce was just indicative of the rest of the way that they were playing. They couldn't stomp down on the Montreal Canadiens. The way they had finished off every team on the 8-game winning streak was to get ahead and then pull farther ahead and then get the empty net goal there in the third period. The Preds unable to do it. They got a bad bounce that goes in the net. They have a disallowed goal in the third period that would have given them the extra point. They still find a way to get a point in a game where, frankly, out of their last 9-10 games, maybe the worst that they've played overall, and they still manage to get a point. So the winning streak comes to an end at 8. The tied for the second longest winning streak in team history. The point streak, though, continues at 9, and points are what it's all about now that we're down to 19 games to go in the season. Unbelievable. It's going to be so fascinating to continue tracking this as we go. Hope you stick with us in the trenches here with the Renegades of Puck, and we sure do appreciate each and every one of you checking out the show. That's going to do it for Operation number 881. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.